This is the Real Relax 2025 full body massage chair, and within the first few minutes, it did something I usually only get from a real spa session. My lower back let go. Not a dramatic moment, just a steady wave of relief that made me forget I was sitting in a chair in my living room. I put this in the category of everyday recovery gear for home. It makes sense for anyone who spends a lot of time at a desk, on their feet, or driving, and then wants a predictable way to unwind without scheduling an appointment. I am that person who used to rotate foam rollers and heating pads and then end up falling asleep on a couch. This is meant to take that routine and make it more consistent, more comfortable, and frankly easier to stick with. The design looks modern without shouting about it. The surface is a mix of black and silver faux leather that feels soft and wipes clean easily. The shape is streamlined, so it does not dominate the room like some big massage pods. It is not tiny though. Think roughly under 4.5 feet tall with a depth a little over 4 feet and a width just under 2.5 feet. It is heavy, around 100 pounds, and that matters. Getting it upstairs was a workout. Once it is in place, it sits solidly without wobble. The ottoman extends, which is great for taller folks. I am just under 6 feet, and my legs are supported without my heels hanging off the edge. There is a gentle curve to the seat and back that encourages you to sink in, and the padding is supportive without feeling stiff. Setup was straightforward. I cut the straps, slid the packaging off, connected a couple of color-coded plugs, and it was ready to go. I needed a second person to help move it into position. Once it is plugged in, it powers up fast. The remote is a simple liquid crystal display handheld with big buttons, and there is an application that mirrors almost everything on the remote. Pairing the application took me 2 tries on my phone, but after it connected, it stayed reliable. The menus are not overwhelming, which I appreciate. It is easy to start a quick session in under a minute, adjust intensity, switch techniques, or hit the zero gravity button without hunting through layers of options. The core of the experience comes from the S-shaped track roller system. That means the rollers follow the natural curve of the spine from the neck down to the lower back. This is not one of those vibrating recliners that just buzz in a fixed area. The rollers have a dual drive, so they are more responsive when you change direction or ask for a different pressure. On my first run, I could feel the rollers glide into the space between my shoulder blades, climb up to the base of my skull, then drop down with a smooth stroke that feels a lot like a real therapist's knuckles. It is not rough or pokey unless you turn the intensity up. There is a clear difference between light and firm, and I could dial it to hit knots without crossing into pain. Airbags wrap the shoulders, arms, hips, calves, and feet. They inflate in waves rather than all at once, which keeps the pressure from feeling abrupt. The shoulder squeeze anchors you while the back rollers work, and the hip cushions help keep your lower body from twisting. The calf and foot area is strong. On my first day, I used a folded towel over my shins, and that made it perfect. After a week, I found I could lower the intensity and skip the towel most of the time. If you have sensitive feet or you are ticklish, start on the lowest setting and build from there. Zero gravity deserves a mention because it changes how the massage feels. Press the button and the chair reclines while your legs rise above heart level. The result is that weight comes off the spine and the rollers sink in more evenly along the back. I could feel my lower back muscles relax in that position, and the stretch on the hamstrings is subtle but noticeable. Motors are quiet with a gentle hum, so I can listen to a podcast or let some music play without cranking the volume. Heat is built into the lower back and the calves. It is a gentle warmth, not a hot pack. On cold evenings, it takes the edge off in a couple of minutes and makes tight muscles more cooperative. I like pairing heat with a slower kneading mode, especially when I come home from a long day at the desk. If you are expecting a sauna-level blast, this is not that. It is more of a steady, comfortable warmth that you can leave on for a full session without feeling sticky. The massage techniques cover the common bases: Shiatsu, kneading, tapping, knocking, and combinations. There are automatic modes for people like me who sometimes just want to press one button and let it run. Those presets are actually well-tuned. One of them focuses on the upper back and neck. Another leans into the lower back with longer strokes and more hip compression. I do a lot of manual tweaks though. I nudge the rollers to specific spots where I know I carry tension, then save that as a favorite in the application. That little bit of customization means I can jump straight into a routine that matches how I feel that day. In daily use, what stands out is consistency. I get home, drop into the chair, and it feels the same every time. No guesswork. The rollers find the same path, the airbags pulse in the same rhythm, and the timing is reliable. The timer lets me choose a short 10-minute reboot or a full 30-minute wind down. Recline transitions are smooth and do not startle me out of relaxation. I can adjust intensity or switch techniques without stopping the session, and there is enough range to satisfy me on sore days without leaving me tender afterward. Real testing for me looks like a few different scenarios. After a full day at a keyboard, I start in zero gravity with light heat, medium roller intensity, and shoulder airbags on. 10 minutes in, the knot along my right shoulder blade loosens and my posture literally resets. After a long walk, I flip to a mode that alternates calf and foot compression with tapping along the lower back. I keep intensity low and focus on rhythm. On weekends, I put on an audiobook through the built-in Bluetooth speakers, close my eyes, and use a slow kneading program while the back heat stays on. The chair stays quiet enough that spoken words are easy to follow without headphones. I also tried early morning sessions before coffee. A gentle knocking pattern along the mid-back wakes me up better than stretching on the floor. I feel more upright at my desk afterward, and I do not reach for pain cream as often. A specific use case that sold me is my end-of-day reset. I set a 30-minute session with zero gravity, medium kneading, and shoulder and hip airbags alternating every couple of minutes. I start with heat on the calves to recover from standing, and I keep the back heat off at first. 10 minutes in, I switch the back heat on and add a few targeted Shiatsu passes at the base of the neck. The combination feels deliberate, like someone pacing the massage for me. If my feet feel sensitive that day, I slide a thin towel under them and drop the air pressure to low. The flexibility to adapt on the fly keeps me using it instead of skipping on days when I feel fidgety. There are small touches that make the experience better. The application is genuinely helpful for saving favorites and scheduling a quick routine, so I do not get distracted by settings. The liquid crystal display remote has large text and enough contrast to read under warm lamplight. The built-in speakers are not audiophile grade, but they are clear and convenient for light music or spoken word. The chair remembers your recline position when you pause a session, and it returns to upright gently when you are done. The faux leather has held up well so far and wipes clean with a damp cloth. The foam padding is firm enough to keep the rollers from bottoming out, which gives the massage a more precise feel. There is also a 3-year warranty. The first year covers maintenance and repairs, and the next 2 years include free parts shipping. I hope I never need it, but knowing it is there gives me a bit of confidence. It is not perfect. The chair is heavy, and moving it is not a one-person job if you have stairs. The calf and foot area can be intense out of the box, so plan on dialing that in. The back heat is subtle, which I personally like, but if you want strong heat, you may wish it went warmer. The application pairing took an extra try on my phone, which was a small hiccup. The remote icons favor function over style, and while that is fine long-term, the first day involved a little guess and check. Also, this is an S-shaped track, so the focus is the spine. If you want a massage that reaches further down into the glutes, you should know this design prioritizes the back, not the seat. Over a few weeks of daily use, the pattern is simple. I sit down stressed, I get up looser. I sleep better on days I use it. I stretch less afterward because I do not feel as tight. It has become part of how I end my day, and it fits into my routine without asking for much attention. The design looks good enough to live in my living room without making the space feel like a clinic, and the controls are friendly enough that I do not have to explain them when family visits. My parents tried it, and they both figured it out within minutes. They gravitated to the presets, while I saved a couple of custom routines in the application for myself. If you want a chair that delivers a real, full-length back massage, solid compression for the legs and feet, and a zero-gravity position that helps your spine relax, this is worth a look. It is for people who want reliable relief at home, without a learning curve, and without a pile of gadgets. It is not pretending to be a luxury spa with endless modes you will never use. It focuses on the features that matter and does them well. I reach for it when my neck tightens on a deadline, when my lower back aches after sitting too long, and when I just need 20 minutes to reset my brain. If this video helped you figure out whether the Real Relax 2025 full body massage chair fits your routine, tap subscribe and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience. Thank you for watching.